Thank you for joining our exclusive network of volunteers who are observing and reporting lake conditions to the greater Madison community. Because of you, we are making lake condition information available in real time on lakeforecast.org, helping visitors plan their next trip to the lakes. The Yahara Lakes Monitoring Partnership collects and displays water conditions at over 70 points around all 5 Yahara lakes. This is a one-of-a-kind program that records the latest in water temperatures, clarity, beach amenities, and other information. The purpose of this program is to provide lake condition information in real time to public beach users and to help university researchers who are studying our lakes.
Hi, my name is Justin Schenebert. I'm a water resources specialist with Clean Lakes Alliance, and today we're going to go through the citizen water quality monitoring protocols. We're going to take 3 measurements and make 7 observations about the beach area here. So first things first, let's make sure I got my equipment. I have my citizen water quality monitoring binder with a data sheet. I've got a pen, a thermometer, and I've got my turbidity tube. For all the visual observations, we're asking you to just concentrate on the conditions at your immediate site. So how big is your site? It's about as far as you can throw a large stone. Or about 50 feet in any direction from the center of your site. Begin by filling out your name with your initials, the date in month, day, year format, the site name that was provided to you during training, and time on a 12-hour clock. First, we'll observe wave intensity. We're going to mark a 1, 2, or 3. A 1 means that there's calm to small ripples. 2 means there's small to moderate chop. 3 is rough water. This right here is a 1. The waves are very small, there's no white caps or rough water at all. The lake is almost smooth. This is a 2 for wave intensity, but it's almost a 3. Farther out on the lake you can see white caps, but in our immediate site there aren't any, so I would call this a 2. Now we'll observe waterfowl presence. We're going to mark a 1, 2, or 3 again. A 1 means there are no waterfowl present, 2 means there are 1 through 10, and 3 means there are more than 10. There are no waterfowl here right now, so I'm going to mark a 1, but you would count any waterfowl that you might have scared away upon approaching the beach. However, you wouldn't count any birds sitting up on the grassy areas or away from the shore. This is a 2 for waterfowl presence. This is a 3 for waterfowl presence. There are 10 geese behind me, and when we approached, they were a lot closer to shore. Now we're going to observe surface algal bloom presence. A 1 means there's no algae present, 2 means there's some clear evidence, and 3 means strong, extensive evidence. We'd say that if more than 75% of your site is covered, we'd call that a 3. Well, it's pretty clear that this is a 1 right here. There is no algae present. This is just barely a 2 for a surface algal bloom. This is some algae that's been floating up and starting to accumulate at the surface and along the shore now. This algae bloom behind me is a 3 because it's covering more than 75% of the site. In this column, you mark a B for blue-green algae and G for green algae. If there's no algae, just leave it blank. I can tell it's green algae because if I reach down and pick it up, it hangs off my hand because it's made of a lot of thin, interconnected filaments.
In contrast, blue-green algae are actually made of tiny bacteria that form small colonies. These colonies don't stick together, so they won't hang off the end of a stick like green algae. Blue-green algal blooms can be a variety of colors, from green to brilliant blue, white, red, and shades of brown. Dense blooms will give the water a pea soup appearance or look like sheens of paint on the surface.
Now we're going to observe floating plant debris abundance. The 1 through 3 scale here is the same as for surface algal bloom presence. That is, 1 means there's no floating plants, 2 means small coverage, 3 is heavy coverage, and the cutoff between 2 and 3 is 75% of your site. This would be considered a 1, no floating plants. Well, this site's a 2 for floating plant debris. There's some algae mixed in as well, but you can see a lot of the leaves and stems from the floating plants. This is a 3 for floating plant debris, with plants covering more than 75% of the site. Now we're going to make an observation of the bather load, or number of people in the water. The scale here is the same as for waterfowl. 1 means no people, 2 is 1 to 10, 3 means more than 10. Today there's nobody swimming here, so this is a 1. This right here is a 2 for bather load. This is a 3 for bather load. Now we're going to make an observation of water clarity at knee depth. Good means that you can see your toes. Fair means you can barely see your toes. And murky means you cannot see your toes at knee depth. I waded in, trying not to disturb the sediment as I did. Once the sediment settled, I'm going to take a look. I can barely see my toes, so I call this fair water clarity. Once the sediment settled, I can see my toes very well, so this water clarity is good. Once the sediment settled, I look down and I can't see my toes at all, so this is murky water clarity. Now we'll measure air and water temperature, recording in degrees Fahrenheit. To take air temperature, I'm going to remove the thermometer from its protective case, turn it on, wade out into the water into thigh depth, and wait for the readings to stabilize while I hold the thermometer in the shade of my body. To measure water temperature, we're going to remove the protective case from the thermometer, turn it on, wade out to thigh depth at the same place you took air temperature, completely submerge the probe in water, and wait for the readings to stabilize. Our last measurement is water turbidity, recorded in centimeters. To measure turbidity, I'll wade out to thigh depth, submerge the tube 6 inches below the surface of the water, fill it completely, and then wade back to shore. I'm going to take the clip off the bottom here and place my foot on the tube. Now let's see if I can see the black and white pattern at the bottom of the tube. I can't, the water's too murky, so I'm going to let water run out until I can just barely see that black and white pattern. Now I can just barely see the black and white pattern, so I'll take my measurement here. The water column is 77 centimeters long, so that's my number, 77. To enter your data, first go to lakeforecast.org. Here's the main screen. You can scroll down to the button that says Monitor Login. Then enter your username and password. Once you log in, you can see all your previous entries listed here. To log a new entry, click the New Entry button in the upper right-hand corner. Choose the date and time of your sample. If you have multiple sites, you can select among them here. And then click on the pictures corresponding to your visual observations. Enter your measurements for air temperature, water temperature, and turbidity here. There's also a field where you can enter comments about any additional observations at your site. Finally, click Submit.
you'll be returned to the page that shows all of your previous entries. To edit a previous entry, click on it in the list. Then click the Edit button. From here, you can change what you entered previously. Then, scroll down to the Submit button, and your entry has now been changed. The filming of this video occurred at 8 of our beautiful beaches in the Yahara River watershed. These beaches include Esther, Frost Woods, James Madison, Marshall, Olbrich, Spring Harbor, Tenney, and Vilas.